Welcome back, monsters, to another painting video with Dan and Sam, brought to you by Monster Fight Club. We're going to be continuing our Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone painting series. We've got some great new models lined up for you today. I'm starting a new faction, the Generation Red Gang, which is a unique gang from the Cyberpunk Red world, where basically it is the kids of Night City out there defending their turf against the heavier hitters you might see in other gangs. I'm going to be painting up the character Tetra. She's probably my favorite sculpt in the entire line of Cyberpunk models. It's a young girl with a quad rocket launcher. Just a really unique sculpt that can do a lot of damage for you in-game. Sam Healy, on the other hand, is going to be painting up Solo, another edge runner that is available for you guys as a mercenary to join any faction to give you some extra tech ability and some extra firepower wherever you may need it. So let's get to it. We're going to show you some tips and tricks to get these models painted up and onto your tabletop as quick as possible. Here we go. And here is Tetra from the Generation Red faction in Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone. This is one of my favorite models here because she's got this giant rocket launcher on her shoulder. It's almost as big as she is. We've got it based in Corax White, and let's get started. Cadian flesh tone first for the hands and for her face. It's the only skin that's exposed here, so we'll just knock that out of the way first as we get into the other colors. Next is the base coat onto the rocket launcher. We're using Caliban green. It's a nice vibrant dark green color though, gives it that military look like she stole this off a military convoy, because why on earth would a little girl have a giant rocket launcher like this? So just trying to get some even coverage here. I actually went over it twice to make sure it was a solid green color. We move on to our next base paint. Mephiston red will be for her undercoat, and then you can see it wraps around the neck like a little hood for her underneath her jacket. Caldor Sky is the base paint for her denim jeans. Again, normal clothes a kid would be wearing, but she's actually going out to put that rocket launcher to good use there for it. So just making sure I touch up all the leg parts, not getting onto the coat. And as we see here, we go to Emperor's Children, a nice bright pink. Kind of gives it that bubblegum look though, something a young kid would wear in Night City, but just trying to get some even color coverage, not touching the other base paints that I've done there. We are going to put a wash over this to bring it back down, and you can really see the highlights stand out on it. Next color we get to is Magos Purple, our first contrast. A nice little pop of color for her hair, quick and easy coat. And then we go to Auric Flesh, nice bright green for her backpack, good contrast to stand out against the pink jacket. Watch over the straps here, trying not to touch that jacket as much as possible. Our second contrast, it's tough to see here, I apologize for that. Basilicanum gray over her shoes, quick and easy. Now we switch over to our metallic lead belcher to kind of give some details back to that rocket launcher, cover up a couple buckles, the handles that she's holding onto. Now for another pop of color, we go to Averland Sunset over the actual missiles themselves. A nice little focal point for your eyes here, but shows that there's 4 missile pods in that launcher and they're ready to cause some damage there for it. So this is a little, just a little extra detail that I put on there using Moot Green, the brightest green from the Citadel colors. I started off with a larger kind of cross V pattern here, going back to Caliban green to make it almost like chevrons, but this took me a few tries, and this is just kind of the first run. I must have changed this 2 or 3 times. We go to Volupus Pink, another contrast that I'm actually going to use as a wash over the jacket, so it gives it that like deeper pink color, gets into the recesses and everything. Another coat of Magos Purple for her hair, and now Nuln Oil across the other parts of the character. The jeans, the backpack, the gun itself, really dirtying it up, darkening it down, giving you that nice contrast once we highlight things back up. Next we go to is back to the pink, the Emperor's Children pink. Now I'm just staying on the highest surfaces here, leaving that contrast paint into the deeper recesses, and you can see it's kind of bringing the jacket back to life there, like it's actually being worn. Just pretty easy model to follow the larger creases of her puffy coat, and you can see it kind of brings it back to life. Next, go back over the Mephiston red of her undershirt, over the green with Auric Flesh, again just using the same exact base colors on the highest surfaces, leaving the recesses, really bring these models back to life. Back to the Moot Green, I touch up the chevrons again. I do this 3 or 4 times off camera, but hopefully it's a good touch at the end. Averland Sunset back for the missiles, just using the highest parts, leaving some darker parts, gives that nice 3-dimensional feel. Cadian flesh tone again on the skin to bring that back up so it looks a little less dirty. Quad rocket launcher looks great. She looks like she's ready to unleash some damage out there. Threw a little red there on the back of the rocket launcher to make it, a little pop of color. But ultimately, it's ready to go. We can't wait to see what you guys have painted up next.
Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Sam. We're going to be doing the Determined Solo from the Edge Runners D pack that's available on our Cyberpunk Red line on our web store, so you can go check that out. Lots of cool detail. I'm really looking forward to doing this. We're moving on to the skin tone, which is the bottom layer on this model. So for this, I did a mixture of Comrade Brown and Monster Brown to get a kind of a unique color for her skin tone. I really liked it, and I think it turned out very well. We're not really trying to worry about other things since those layers are going to be filled in later on. We're just trying to get nice, even coverage for this. I did have to do a couple of coats for it, but it worked out pretty well. Now I'm using a 6XX Claw color from Army Painter, and this is for her blouse, I guess you would call it, that might be there on her chest. Now I'm doing just a regular matte black for her leather jacket that has metal studs on it. And later on, I'm going to be going back and using gunmetal as kind of a dry brush to give it a shiny look, so it looks like it's a leather jacket that has that kind of shine to it from all of the lights. Use the same matte black for her combat boots that are down there. And then we also using that same matte black for all of the leg apparatus that she has, whether they're enhancements or the knee pad or what have you, just to give it that base color. Also using it on the glorified fanny pack, I guess you could call it. I know there's probably ammo and bombs and those things, but you get what I'm saying. Now I'm using just a regular leather brown for her shorts there, and then I moved on to a gunmetal for the actual gun. And we're also going to use the gunmetal to kind of accentuate those belts and straps that are around her leg and the pouches around her waist as well. This is just whatever looks best for you. But I think you'll find if you do all of the parts of the model of each color at the same time, it'll speed up the process. Now I'm using a color called Electric Blue for her hair. I wanted to give a little bit of a splash of color. And now we're using just a regular soft tone from Army Builder all over the model to kind of settle into the recesses. And we'll go back and touch up on all of those colors that we used earlier for the highlights. Now I'm using a Dragon Red for the different accents for the gun, and then I'll touch it up with some more highlights for Pure Red and Lava Orange on that. Went back to her hair and used Void Shield Blue to bring out some of those highlights and the flow that's there. And like I said earlier, just some of those different original colors that we used to bring out those highlights. And that's about it.
And that wraps up another painting video with Dan and Sam. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch those videos. Please give us a like and a comment below. We'd love to hear from you as we continue these painting series. We've got a lot more models in the line. We are just scratching the surface with everything that Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone has to offer. You can check out the full line at www.monsterfightclub.com. But we'd love to hear from you. Is there a specific model you're interested in, a faction you want to see highlighted? Like I said, let us know in the comments below and we'll work it into the line for you guys. But stay tuned for more information. We're going to have plenty more videos to come. Sam and I are really enjoying painting these models up for you guys, and we hope you're getting some tips and tricks to get your models onto the game table as quick as possible. Tune in next time. I'm going to be continuing the Generation Red, but Sam is also going to be working on a new Edge Runner for you guys. So stay tuned and keep rolling, monsters.